And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from, who gave me this one? Zach Torres, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Arya Stark or, is it Fa Mulan? But Mulan. So both individuals who were not born to combat, but ultimately had to go into combat, learn from learn from masters in whatever forms they had available, and turned into some pretty badass women. Now that being said, who is the more skilled? Well, Mulan is definitely capable of thinking on her feet. She is very ingenuitous. I think that's a term. she's got a lot of ingenuity, and including being able to use like the fireworks against the Huns multiple times, able to strategize. She can be covert. While the sequel isn't that good, we still see a bit more of this shown in the sequel as well. She became a very skilled sword fighter. She's also physically in really good shape thanks to her training with the army. She can handle herself in a straight out fist fight pretty well. She's also a skilled marksman, skilled with the bow staff. Pretty again, all courtesy of Han. So, or not, is it Han? I believe, I believe it's Han who is the guy she fell in love with. I'm thinking because I said the Huns, which technically it is the Huns still. I think those are supposed to be Huns anyway, the villains in the first Mulan. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. I haven't really looked up at the first Mulan lately. But yeah, she is ultimately just a very skilled individual. And I'm not going to talk about the live action movie because that movie just decided, hey, why not just make her always perfect? Seriously, screw that. That's not what we saw the movie for, and that's not what we wanted. Anyway, Arya Stark was, I believe she's the youngest child of the Starks. And while I'm not a huge Game of Thrones fan, I am still aware of a lot of her journey. She had to, I believe she wasn't an apprentice to, I think it was the Wolf that he was called, but no, the Hound. Sorry, the Hound. I knew it was a canine. The Hound, but she did like learn from him to a certain degree. Plus, she learned swordsmanship as well from Pedro Pascal's character, whose name I don't remember. Again, wasn't a big Game of Thrones guy. She also learned that to use her size and advantage. So I do remember the fight she kind of had, or spar she had with Brianna Tarth, where she was basically using her smaller size to her advantage. Now, because of her smaller size, though, she is not someone who is really designed to use a long blade. She's more of a, not like, I mean, a dagger, yes, but like a short sword is more her style. And I believe the one she carried is more closer to like a rapier than like a true broadsword or longsword. So she did have that advantage. She was skilled at using her size too, her smaller frame, her quicker agility, and she was also very sneaky when she had to be. She was the one who did get the killing blow in on the oh god, not the Witch King. The White Walker King. I can't remember exactly what he was called. But yeah, she's the one who got the killing blow. To be fair, she was using a special steel to do it. But yeah, she is also very capable and strategic in her own right. So she's a dangerous fighter to be sure. In fact, give me one sec. I want to say she learned about poisons or mysticism to some degree. So give me one second. I want to just be sure about everything she's bringing to the table because, again, like I said, I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy. I've seen a little bit here or there. I even watched the last episode when it was airing. It's like it should be a series that's right in my alley of like right up my alley of like type of things I'd like to watch, but I just never really got into it. And then, I don't. Maybe it's because it's a very long series, or maybe it's whatever reason. Maybe it's because I was busy watching other things at the time. But yeah, I just never could get into Game of Thrones, and that's no one's fault. Just not really my thing. Let's see here. So personality, independent, begins traveling, King's Landing, however, she endures constant, come back here. I hate ads so much. Once she begins her journey, however, she endures a constant stream of loss and trauma. Initially horrified when she accidentally stabs the stable boy in King's Landing during the betrayal of her father. By the time she and the Hound have fled the massacre in twins, she was able to kill without remorse and has accepted that belief system. Arya can be rather cold-blooded and slightly sadistic. Oh yeah, there was also the guy I believe she fed to his own dogs. That was pretty that was pretty brutal. Okay, do we have anything on her actual abilities? In the not really. Like, there's not much listed on what she's actually like capable of doing. To be fair, Game of Thrones is not a series that really lends itself well to verses. Just because it's a lot of just standard medieval fare with some level of mysticism to it. Now, that all being said, who would win in a fight? Well, both are actually fairly well trained, but Mulan has the advantage of being trained in an army. She's been trained, and she's probably in the better physical condition. I don't know if we got a height on Mulan, but she's not overly tall, but she's also probably not overly short. She's probably in like an average range, 5'5" ish, I'd guess. I don't know, Mulan's height. Let's find that out. I say this because one of Arya's strategies would be to use her size to her advantage. But if, say, Mulan is, because Arya's pretty short. What is it, Mackenzie Williams? Is that the name of the actress? Anyway, for some reason, it's just deciding to be slow right now. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, assuming Mulan's somewhere in like the low 5-foot range area, she's got probably about a half a foot on Arya, because Arya's not like she's not like a dwarf. She's not Tyrion, clearly, but she is short. She's tiny. She's probably only like in the 4 foot nothing range ish, kind of, sort of. Not 4 foot nothing, but you know what I'm saying, like 4'5", 6, 7-ish area. Point being though, Mulan is probably not that much taller than him. Like if we're talking about like here's Arya, Mulan's maybe like that much taller, I'd be guessing. So Mulan's not someone Arya can really use her size very well against. Add on to the fact that while they're both trained swordsmen, they're trained in different sword styles. Chinese sword style is a lot more flourishing, with definitely some stabs to it. But the swords you use in Chinese sword style fighting, usually, and especially what we saw in the movie, the style of sword they are more effective slashing weapons, but when you use them properly, they are also very good stab weapons. They're multi-purposed. Arya's not wielding a blade that's really designed for slash kills. It can still hurt you, and if you get someone's throat, you can still kill someone with it, but it's definitely more of a stab, kill them weapon, and unfortunately, it's a thinner blade than a Chinese sword. That's not Mulan's sword. That was the villain's sword, which was this very curvy kind of almost not raggedy, but razor-looking weapon. So Mulan, I think, holds the edge in sword combat. I think she's probably just the better trained with the better sword style in this case. Her sword also, in theory, would be enough to maybe overwhelm Arya's sword. She's also just got the better physicality in terms of training. She's physically fit and is capable of being far more agile, quite frankly, than Arya. Being a cartoon character helps too, but that's beside the point. There's also the fact that she's just a better hand-to-hand fighter than Arya too. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those cases where it's anything you can do, I can kind of do better scenario. Now, that's not to say that Arya is completely outmatched. Again, she can adapt on the fly. She has to. Her sword style would still be problematic, especially if she's able to get in close enough to Mulan where Mulan's not able to block. Like, being able to block like that isn't as easy as you think. And so, Arya would possibly be able to get a stab in, but just because you stab someone with that blade, it's a thin blade, it does not make it a lethal shot. Even a shot to the liver is not immediately lethal. I mean, it's the whole thing we see like in movies where people get shot in the gut, and then they just drop dead. That's not quite how. If you got shot in the gut, provided like your liver isn't punctured, you would probably survive actually for a little while. Now, granted, you could still bleed out easily, and you'd still perforate organs, all that theoretically. But your muscle, the muscle in your sternum, as long as you work out or you're a big guy with a lot of fat, can actually take a lot of the damage. But that being said, the liver is a problem, so because especially if you're in boxing, different format of fighting, but still boxing, if you do like a liver shot, that's something that can just put you into shock. So if you get like shot through the liver, that is a bad place to be shot, to be stabbed, anything like that. But that being said, because it does bleed, the liver bleeds a lot, but the liver can also repair itself and grow back from another piece. It's one of those organs you can actually grow. You can actually remove part of it, and it works towards. It works towards. Thinking words here. Donors. There you go. You can donate a portion of your liver, and that can work. So yeah, the liver shot's like the only real bad place down there that you. It's still not an instant kill, but it can. Like the shot could do it to you. That being said, you really aiming for the heart, even a lung, even like right there. That's not an immediate kill because you can survive with one lung. So yeah, the heart is really where it's at, where you need to kill someone, and then you got the sternum to deal with. Or slash a jugular, or straight through the brain, and even then you can survive a shot. Believe it or not, you can survive a shot to the head. A lot of people have done that. You just it depends how much damage is done to the brain. The point being is that even if Arya were to get in close, it wouldn't necessarily mean a win, because even if she stabs Mulan would probably grab her and then do her in. Like that's pretty much how that would end. Overall, again, like I said, it's kind of just the anything you can do, I can do better scenario. Mulan, I would give the overwhelming win to, but that doesn't mean it's the 100%. There are scenarios, there are avenues I could see Arya taking a victory in. I just don't think they're the likely scenarios. Anyway, I digress. Who do you got? Why do you got them? Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.